Hey guys, this is Sebastian. Welcome back to episode 6 of creating a 2D character in Blender from scratch. As you can see from yesterday's episode, I've taken a couple of steps further with this character. So what we're going to be doing today is creating some, how should I put it, accessories? Clothing, basically. So I'm going to be continuing his armor, his spacesuit sort of armor, and show you how it is that I came about being able to create this, and probably make him some boots and possibly gloves. So just to kind of build out the character so it's not so plain. So let's get on with that. First thing I'm going to do is I'm only going to create one side and then just mirror it over to the other side, because we don't want to spend too much time recreating this. Plus, there's really no need for it. So as you can see, I'll turn off the overlays. I've actually reduced the amount of outline that we have in certain areas. For instance, the back of the knee is almost nothing, whereas in the front we still have the outline. Same with the shoulder, where it's most likely to crease. I've reduced it. It also helps give kind of like a pen sort of line where it kind of tapers out, which is very comic booky, if that's even a word. Same with the elbow. As you can see, it kind of tapers to nothing, basically. So it looks like a feathered taper. Same with the wrists, and also between the fingers and between the index finger and the thumb. I've reduced it. Not 100%, but at least 50%. So then that way we still have some line showing through. As you can see, I've created a sort of see-through bubble around his head, so like at the visor of the helmet. But I've toyed with actually making it into a reflective sort of material, in which we would be able to see the environment reflect off it. But then I found that it wasn't really looking like a two-dimensional cartoon, like the sort of image that I was going for. So then instead of doing that, what I did was, I'll select this now, turn back our overlays. What I did was, let me just hide that one, so it's not in the way. We'll just turn off our rig. So that's actually I've gone back to the Auto Rig Pro rig. So where do we have that? We'll turn off that. Okay, so we can't see any of the rig. It doesn't get in the way. We can even hide that, really. Okay. So what I've done is, if I select this and actually go into it, leave this on so it looks exactly the same when we click in and out of it, and might actually get rid of the wireframes, the extra wireframe. Alright, so when we click into it, you'll see that it's actually just one how did I put it, object. There isn't multiple objects here. And what I've done is I've selected the faces that are going to be the visor, and I've given it its own material, which is this clear material here. And I'll go into the shader editor now, and this one's a bit of a mess because trying to play around with this was a bit of a disaster, so to speak. So basically, the look that I was trying to go for was to have fake reflections off to the side as if it was reflecting light, which I'm not too sure yet, but I think I'll be able to actually attach that to either an empty or a bone to actually drive those, to drive the location of them onto the visor. So if I need to move them over, because in order to move them over, all I need to do is calibrate these, and I can shift them over. But it's a bit finicky, so I'll need to do that. I'll need to set it up so I can actually do that, like a little bit more automated. Now, as you can see, I've got 2 dots here, and this is actually driven by 2 separate mapping coordinates. Let me just clean this up just a touch, so you can see that it's 2 of the exact. It's exact same setup. It's exact same setup, but the only thing I've done is these actual coordinates are generated at a different spot, and then I've just used a mix shader to lay them over each other, and just because they're in a different spot, they don't eat into each other. And the good thing about this is I've also added these transparent shaders to the rest of the shader, and so when you have that parallax where it does go over, and it is sitting directly on top of the glass material, the glass, quote unquote glass shader, because it really isn't glass. It doesn't really reflect anything at the moment. Now, another thing that I did want to do is, it was giving me a black interior. It was giving me a black interior every time I went into the shaded view or the rendered view, and I didn't like that. It looked like it had like a big black line here. Now, this was actually a happy accident. So what actually happened was, and if any of you actually know how this might have taken place, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm still trying to figure it out. So I've got the subdivisions here, the solidify in order to create the outline, which if we select this one, you can see the outline all the way around it. I've actually manipulated the outline here by actually, if you click into it, you'll see that it's not actually an outline, it's a shader. So I've actually added a separate shader, which is just a black emission shader, and I've created thin lines and just graded and just place the shader into those lines, simply so I can actually control where it is that the black lines cut through, in case this external shader wasn't going to give me exactly what I wanted, which at the beginning it kind of wasn't. It was kind of glitchy. Anytime I'd move, it would go all over the place, and that's not what we wanted. Well, what I wanted really. So I might show you what happened was, I wanted to actually create a secondary outline to try and turn this, which was originally black, into like a blue, so it would look like glass. So I'd created the same outline, but I turned it blue, and as you can see, settings wise, it's exactly the same. The only thing I did was turn it into blue. And then on the material offset, which is where we tell it which material to choose to use the outline, I did select the black one, but for some reason having the blue one after that, I don't know, it's given me this blue sort of filling. Now I'm not getting an outline in the visor, which is fine. I didn't really want an outline on that because I wanted it to actually appear to be glass. But other than that, like as you can see, when I go directly on its side, it does look like he's inside a glass bubble. So I'm not entirely sure how that happened, or if this is an actual feature of, the solidify modifier, like but either way, I'm not going to complain because it turned out exactly how I wanted. I wanted it to look like it was a visor in front of his head, as opposed to it just being clear. Then you really wouldn't be able to tell if there's anything there other than these two spots, which was, again, a happy accident, but I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I'm not going to lie and be like, oh yeah, like, and this is exactly what I was planning to do. No idea. All I can tell you is exactly how it happened. And yeah, this is basically the setup. I just had an extra outlines layer that I turned blue, so you can actually see if I change this color to green, it actually changes it in there. Yeah, can even leave it gold, but no, I preferred it blue. It was yeah, it looks nice as a blue. It's kind of, it like gives it kind of that glassy sort of feel. Too dark. Let's go around there. Yeah, that's even better actually. Yeah. So, happy accidents. And here I've got a little sort of half dome that I've created. If I actually click into it, where are we? If I actually click into it, you'll see that it's literally just a half cube. It's not even a half dome. So it's a half cube where I've actually chopped it in half, deleted the back, and added a subdivision. And obviously it's created a ball, like a square, like a cube ball, cube sphere, yeah. And what I've done is I've actually stolen, well, no, actually, I created this first and then the actual glass material. So what you see here, this little orb is exactly what I used here. In the shader, if I click on it, you'll see it looks exactly like the other one, but it's only got one. It looks exactly like what I did with the glass, but it's only got a singular one. And what I did was put a gradient texture in there as spherical and messed with these values in the object mode until I managed to get the kind of like a glow spot or a reflective spot here on the side, to make it look like it was reflecting off that corner. Again, this is one of those things where I'm going to work towards rigging both these two and that. So if I have a either empty or a bone, I can actually move it across and it'll appear as if it's been actually lit up by something. I could even probably light it, rig it to a light. That way it does actually match the existing light in the scene. But enough of that for now. We're already 13 minutes into the stream, and let's get on to what I was going to talk about today, which is to create, let's say we'll do boots for now and see how we go time-wise. What I'll do is I'll turn this over there so we see exactly what we're working with. And I might actually save this just in case. Go front on, Alt B, and then just go above the knee because I actually want to create the boot to go just above the knee. With Alt B, I've gone and hidden everything except that leg. The reason being is when we're working on it from, let's say, this angle and we've got the other leg in the way, it's both going to show us the other leg and the reflected part of the reflected version of the boot that we're going to be working on. It's going to be a bit of a pain to like see through, so it's always best to clean up your viewport as much as possible. So we're already in object mode. Let's actually start. So what we will do is T, go front on, and Alright, there's two ways we can actually go about this. So let's say, for instance, we have roughly the right leg shape that we want. So what we can actually do is, nope, go a little bit more. Okay, so it goes just above the knee, which is what I want. Let's turn that on, make sure we've got everything selected. We do, and then all we need to do is click Shift D, and with P we'll separate it by selection. Now, as you can see, we've got two separate objects. We've got what used to be, well, what is still connected to the leg, and we've got this. So this is one way we can go about it. If we like the shape of the leg and we want to work off that, we can totally do it this way. So I'll turn this off so it's not so distracting. What I might do is first go in here, because we've just copied it from the body. We're going to have all of these vertex groups, which we don't need. We don't even need the leg ones really, because we will be binding it to the actual rig itself by itself, like not using the actual leg. So we don't need any of these. Definitely don't need the fingers and the thumb. We don't need this outline fix. We'll keep. So we'll leave it like that. Okay. Alright, so that's our body. Now obviously it's clipping pretty badly. So what I might do is actually just start expanding on this by, well, we'll get rid of that. Don't need that. We don't need these warps for the eyes. And we can get rid of this subdiv for now. We can get rid of this for now. Yep. Just so we're working a little bit cleaner from scratch. And what I might see is what it'll look like if I actually solidify it properly. Even thickness. Yeah, it's gonna be a mess. Yeah, no, I don't like that at all. So let's just delete that. And what I might do is give him some knee pads. So I'll go to face and extrude faces along normals to kind of shoot that out. Now the good thing is, if we don't want to make the legs too much wider than the original, what we can do is actually mask the original leg, so then that way it's not impeding it in any way. It doesn't cut through. Let's see. Now what I might do is do that. And starting to be a bit of a pain, so what I'll do is I'll get rid of the subdiv in here. I won't delete it, but I'll just turn it off for a bit so we can see exactly what we're doing. Just expand it a bit. Not too much. Just so it actually looks like it's thicker than the leg, as opposed to just being the actual leg shape itself. And let's actually fade inactive object, just so it's not bothering us too much. Right. So because this bit is meant to be right up against the leg, not rounded or anything, what I'm going to do is do Shift E to sharpen it. You would have seen that in the rest of the armor. I did that as well. And then let's see, I'm going to turn off the body. And I'll actually rename this into boot. Yep. Just so we can see it a little bit better. I'll delete these. This is really more of a just trying to make things look really high-techy. So high-tech for me is more like a whole bunch of different sort of panels, either interlocking or just independently. So what I might do is select these front ones, click I for inset, but I'll do individuals. I only want it to be a little bit, then we'll extrude against the normals, by the normals, on the normals, to kind of give it some, there we go, to give it some, not padding, what's the word, so make it look like it's actually got panels, because if it's, you know, meant to be some sort of alien tech or futuristic tech, we just assume that that's what it looks like in the movies, so why not? And now, one thing that I was doing with the shoulder pads was already trying to think, all right, where will the black lines go? Because I find that it's easier to color it now as opposed to later, because then I'll be able to tell, all right, this is where the lines need to go. So I've got this color, which is the same as the original, the shoulder pads, and I've got the outlines here, but I'm going to add another one, and I've got the actual alien lines, which is what I'll use to dominate, or to control where the actual lines go. So I want a line across there, so it kind of accentuates that rounded section. So we'll assign that. So now, if I actually add a subsurf modifier, you'll notice that it actually warps that line, which is not what I want in the slightest. So what I need to do is click 2, select that, make sure it's all selected, and then click Shift E to sharpen it. This one needs to be sharpened as well. No, wrong one. Shift E, and now when I click out of it, you'll notice it's a lot thinner, it's a lot sharper, but it's not sharp enough. So I'm going to sharpen this one. So I don't want it to curl too much. So what I might do is just add a couple of loops to kind of control where it is that it cuts. It's really hard to see with this yellow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually change this, create a new one, change this to white. Much easier to see. And now what I want to do is really solidify those edges. See if that does it. No. Take that away. Because you see how it's kind of rounding out. I want it to be less rounded. But it seems to not want to play ball. So 3. It's sharpening it a bit, but I don't actually like the way it looks. So what I'll do is get rid of the sharpening completely, and I'll actually move that line. So 2, 3 actually, and 2. Apply this here. Now, what I might do is, let's see if this helps. No. Okay. 3. So that's sharpened it a little bit more, which is good. Now, even though it's sharp, we don't want it to be ultra sharp. So what I'll do is I'll add a bevel modifier, so that way I don't have to add too much to this. Let's see. Just to give it the look like it's not completely flat. It's meant to be width? No. So it kind of dulls the sharpness if we look at it without. With. Too much. With that modifier, all we're trying to do is to make it look less like it's too, I don't know, perfect, I think is the way to put that. So let's reduce the sharpness just a touch. Just put it somewhere around there. We can play around with that more later. So this one needs to be sharpened as well. What are you? Alright, now we just need to fix in here. Get rid of this. And now we've got some weird edge loops going on here. So I'm just going to sharpen these. See if that helps. Nope. Let's just soften everything up again and start fresh. Leave that for now. Just work on these angles. And now I don't want it to look too much more bigger than the actual leg, because like I said, the leg was already kind of fat down here anyways. Circle. Let's add a little bit of definition to the knee as well. Just a little bit something to give it some interesting look. Something alienish, I guess. I'm going to add these extra loops, but this is less for the modeling and more for the coloring, because I want to be able to color the loops a little bit to give it some line art, like some baked in sort of line art. And just bring this down just a touch. Hey Goofy King, how you doing? And so I'm just going to sharpen up those lines. What I might do actually is not select it that way, simply because I don't want to select the, or do I actually? No, I might actually want to select, let's test one out. We'll select the whole thing and see if actually, let's do that. Yeah, sort of. He's kind of an astronaut, so I thought I'd give him a like a spacesuit, since he's an alien. Kind of thought that it'd kind of suit the theme of it. So let's do the same in here. 2, 3. Just Shift E to sharpen those edges, because then when we bring the character back, we want it to stick directly onto his leg. All right. Sharpen these, sharpen these. Now, because these are meant to be square in there, we will have to sharpen those in there, or else it keeps coming out rounded, which is not what we want. Three. That's what we wanted. Nope. Perfect. So when we color this back to what it was meant to be, kind of yellowish, just to have a little bit of definition. Back to grey. Sharpen these again. And I'll definitely sharpen this sides as well, because this is like the side of a boot. Let's see. We seem to have doubled up. So what I'll do is turn that on. And let's just save it and do a slight cleanup to see if there's anything we haven't seen. Merge by distance, no. So it's acting weird, not sure why. Okay, so I'll turn off the bevel for now, just so we can see the basic shape of it. Yep, so we've got the knee brace and the boot section, which I might do a little bit more definition on. Just bring this down. And fatten it out just a touch. Okay. Let's see. Let's create some lines in here, kind of like what I did up there on the knee. Let's see what this looks like. Yep. Three. Some lines on the base. And okay, so I've got to clean up underneath here. 2. Just color this white. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, because I added it when I had that highlighted. It would have added it all as a black line. We don't want that. 3. Let's add some black lines where this meets, just to give it a little bit more poppiness. Just to make things look a little bit technical. Of course, the rest of it's just going to be the sort of goldish sort of color. So let's see this one. Alright, so let's go to Alt B. Bring back our dude. And you can see that it's kind of overlapping the leg a bit. That's fine. We're just going to select our alien. Click 1. And then just select all the vertices from the leg up to the knee, and probably just not. What we'll do is we'll unselect the last knee loop, and then just come over here and we'll create a new group and say boot mask. Yep. Set it to 1, and then let's just come in here and add a mask for that. Now whenever you add a mask, whatever you tell it is actually the opposite. So let's put this up here, and it's gotten rid of it, so this looks kind of weird. Just amputated him. Alright, there we go. So let's look at it. Now obviously it'd be good if I can add some extra colors. So I've got like a goldish sort of trimming in this, so I can actually come in here and let's say 3, and with the bottom layer add the golden trim. So let's add a new one, push it up. It's this one, just to give it a bit more flavor. Let's come in here. Now what I'll do is I'll select these, expand the selection so it's selecting everything in there, but then I'll get rid of the actual center pieces. Oop, what did I get rid of there? Okay. No, what did we do? just to give it a little bit of difference. Get rid of that. Oh no, hold on, can't do that. We have the black outlines there. So what I need to do is be very selective about this. So 3, get rid of the black ones. Yep. Now assign it. Just to give it a little bit of difference in the color. Because or else it's just one massive color selection and just doesn't look as good, I don't believe. I'm curious if I was to add, no, we don't want a new one. What I want is the red that I already had in the other one. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Now, something that is missing is the outline, so we need to bring that back. The solidify. We'll put this all the way at the top. Bring the solidify, and then just as always, invert it. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit weird. We're going to fix that up in a second. Flip. Yep, find that. Alright, now we just need to check the face orientation is fine, and find 3. Select the lows. And now we're going to get rid of the outline fix. Select the outline fix, and there we go. Now, when we click out, there's still some that are a little bit janky, so we just need to go in there and find those. One. So it's usually the things that have weird sort of angles, which is fine. We can get rid of those. We can even get rid of those. And where else? Where else? There. We've got some. Let's just select the entire bottom row because we don't really need outlines down here because we already created it ourselves. And now something. Because we have a bottom row. Let's tighten that up a little bit. There we go. Just need to fix that up. Now, even though we've taken away the outline from the base, it doesn't really matter because we've added our own. It kind of looks fine anyways. We just need to fix there's a little bit there as well. It's kind of coming through. Okay. Don't need any of these. Just add those. And as you can see, we've gotten rid of them, but we still have sort of an outline going anyways on the base. Now, alright, so usually not a good idea to do this, but what I might do is create that and turn this back into yellow, and it may cause some issues later on, but if it does, I'll have to re-topologize that section. Alright, also the knee. Obviously this was going to give us quite a bit of trouble, so what I'll do is 2, 3. I'll select pretty much the entire knee, go back to vertices, assign that, get rid of it. Alright, this is going to give us a bit of trouble. 2, nope. Let's select this. We need to sharpen this obviously because it's not meant to be rounded. There we go. And sharpen the bottom as well. Nope. There we go. Three. Okay. Just need to sharpen that lower black line under the knee because it was starting to flare out a little bit, which I don't want. And what I might do, keep clicking the wrong, there we go. What I might do is actually see if this looks better if I black it out there. Kind of adds to the line. Get rid of the lines. Front. All right. I'm just going to add a little bit of definition here in the shin, just so it doesn't look too plain, because if he goes and kicks something, or yeah, it's not going to be good if he doesn't have any padding. So there's that. Add a bit of sharpness to it. Now I find that I tend to go a little bit sharpness happy with this stuff. I'll go a little bit crazy on it, but I like having a little bit more control. Alright, now we are going to have to get rid of the outlines from this as well. Maybe not from the front ones. And just get rid of those outlines. There we go. Now what I'm thinking is, I might save it there, but I want to round these out a touch, and I'm not entirely sure if it's going to work, but we're about to see. 3. Just to kind of match the one on his chest. Let's see. Might have worked out actually. Let's try and circle this one as well. Might have to just adjust this manually. Now, this one's a little bit of a difficult one, so just have to go into view mode. Yep. And just adjust it manually. It's not perfect, but just to get those kind of lines a little bit closer to where it's meant to be. And I might try and actually get rid of that. No. Thought maybe it would round it out just a touch more, but not so much. Alright, so C. red that up. Cool. All right. So I might leave it there for now. Oh no, actually, got to fix that. See, it's kind of doubling up there. We don't really need that. So what I might do is actually select these two, and I'll do it on the outside as well, because guaranteed it's going to do it as well. And what I'll do is this one, and that one. And instead of getting rid of the line art completely, what I'll do is I'll do it halfway. And see, it kind of fixed it a little bit. It's a little bit smoother now. And what I'll do is I'll actually cut this one across. Yep. And sharpen that up, 3. And then just turn this one yellow as well. And just bring this up a little bit. No, 3. Alright, what do we got? Left. Okay, so there's a line missing across there. So just got to add that so we can paint it black like the rest of it. Edge crease. Nope, black line. Cool. Might actually add a bit of orange to that section there, just to make it look like it's a bit of shading, I guess. Now after this, what I actually want to do is add a little bit more texture to this, and also the helmet and chest piece, but I'll do that in a separate video where I'll actually paint using sort of textures and overlay them, sort of like a stencil. But I'll do that in a separate one so I can show you and just concentrate on that. I'm going to fix this up because I've parented it to the... Oh wait, I think I might know why this. Yep. That's why. Cool. So yeah, I might leave it there. So yeah, if you have any questions in regards to the in regards to this, or anything that you want to know, like if there's anything else that I haven't touched base on, leave it in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you liked it. If not, then it's all good. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Again, this is Sebastian, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.